welcome back to Bountiful Stitches. My name's Nicola and this is my Flosstube episode number 41, coming to you today from a very sunny Suffolk in England, and today is the 4th of June. I hope you're all doing well, and thank you for coming back if you are a returning subscriber, and if you are a new subscriber, thank you for joining me today. I hope you enjoy what you see, and if you're not subscribed, I would love it if you could give me a little subscribe and maybe even a thumbs up, just to help the channel along and see if we can reach even more stitchy friends out there in the Flosstube world. Well, as you can see, it is a gloriously beautiful sunny summer's day here. It's not too hot, it's just the way I like it. The birds are singing. I've got both the doors open to keep the air flowing, so it does get a little bit warm here in the conservatory. And you probably can hear the just behind me, I've got the little sort of water fountain on, so I hope it isn't too distracting, but I find it quite a nice relaxing noise, and my hostas and ferns in the corner there like it too, because they get a nice little splash. So I hope you're all enjoying the warm weather where you are. If you're getting it, I certainly hope you are. I think most of the UK is getting some nice sunny weather at the moment, although being the UK, it's liable to change at any moment, so we'll just make the most of it while it's here. It's been, I think, 3 weeks since I saw you last, so I was hoping to get back last weekend, but just didn't quite manage it. But maybe a little bit better than my usual, which normally goes over a month. So I haven't got a huge amount of stitching to share with you today, but I do have some things that I wanted to show you. So I'm just looking down at my notes because there's a few things that I want to remember to say. One is, if you watched my last video, quite a lot of you commented that you couldn't see the little tiny spider that was hanging from my camera right in front of my screen. I film on my phone and it was dangling down on a piece of its web, just swinging about in front, and I thought that for sure you'd be able to see it, but nobody spotted it, but quite a few people commented that they wish they had seen it. And the other thing was, if you were eagle-eyed, I edited the video and put it up and thought, something's not quite right. I couldn't put my finger on it. And when I got changed, I realised the whole video I had my top on inside out. So if you spotted that, thank you for sparing my blushes and not mentioning it in the comments. But I did laugh because it's just typical of me, always rushing around trying to get things done, and then sat there and filmed a whole video with my blouse on inside out. Fortunately, it was one of those kind of reversible fabrics that it didn't notice too much, but there you go. That's life, isn't it? Okay, I had a couple of little questions from the last episode. I shared a little picture of myself and Enzo and Alfie at the end of last video, and Vykky in Kansas asked, is Enzo going to be a redhead? And he sure is. My daughter Lulu has got beautiful sort of coppery red hair, and he's taken after his mama, and yeah, he has got gorgeous red hair, and it's starting to go a little bit curly as well. So he was over yesterday and he's just such fun to have around. He's in one of those little baby walkers, and he spent most of the afternoon chasing after Alfie and generally causing mischief, but it was lovely to have them visit. Sally Deem commented on my Barbarana All Creatures Great and Small whip, which I will be sharing with you in a moment. I've done a little bit of work on that, and she asked, was the verse on it over 1, because that made her a little bit nervous, and I'm totally with you on that. I'm not hugely keen on over 1, but I checked the chart and no, there isn't. It's all full crosses, so if that's what you need to just give you the green light on that project, then go for it, because it's such a lovely stitch. Finally, from the last video, this comment really made me chuckle. Deb Robinson said she was sitting and watching the Flosstube and could hear the birds outside, and they're chirping away now, and she said the next thing she knew, she woke up, she drifted off to sleep. So I hope I wasn't boring you, Deb. I hope it was just because the birds were so relaxing, and I have been guilty of that myself several times. I've been watching a Flosstube, normally because it's late at night when I'm in bed and I'm watching them, but I have been guilty of falling asleep and then having to catch up the next day, find out where I was up to when I drifted off. So that did make me chuckle, but thank you for all your comments, they're much appreciated. Right, I have got 2 fully finished objects to share with you today. One I will share with you in full, and the other is a secret squirrel stitch that I cannot share with you because it's going off as a gift to a very dear friend of mine whose birthday is coming up this month. So I'll just show you a little sneaky of that so I don't give anything away. But let me start off with what I can share. And you'll remember I shared this as a whip, and this is the Happy and Glorious that I made a few changes to. Let me just move, I've got quite a lot of stuff piled up. Behind the scenes, everything's on the ironing board because I can put it down low and I can sit at the chair here and lay everything out along the length of it. So the ironing board is a bit chock-a-block with things, so I'm trying not to knock anything off. But back to the project. So this is Happy and Glorious, which I called a day at this point here. The chart is from Samplers and Stitches, and as you can see there was a bit of detail here along the bottom which I decided not to do. It was one of those that I felt was just dragging on a bit. I wanted to get a finish on it. I thought it might not be a very good size for a pillow if I added that, because I wanted it to go with my other Jubilee, Queen's Jubilee finish that I did last year. And of course I made a little change by putting Happy and Glorious rather than the and I did put a crown on top of the house, which I got from this little chart here, which comes as part of it. So I stitched it on a 32 count with 2 strands, and this is Eva Faith fabric from Paula from her Etsy shop, and the colourway was Sycamore, and all called for DMC, and I think it's finished up really prettily. I just used a cotton fabric at the back with the beigey sort of taupey stars on. It's a little bit pale, and you can see where I filled it in the middle with the walnut, crushed walnut shells. The rest is fibre fill and some little cotton crochet lace trim on the outside. So it was nice to get that fully finished, so that can sit in the bowl next to the other piece. And it's another little whip off the list, isn't it? And I've still got a nice piece of that fabric left, which I've got something in mind for, which I'm going to share with you a little bit later in this video. So let's pop that one down there. Okay, the next FFO, as I said, I can't share it with you in its entirety. I've already, before I started this video, filmed a little bit of it as a full reveal as an FFO, which I'll share with you next episode. But I'm just going to go like this. I'm just going to peep this up. This is the back, and I'm going to show you the flosses that I used. So that's all I can share with you today. I hate to be one of those people that does that, but I wanted you to know that I've been busy and I have been FFOing things, and I'm very, very pleased with how it turned out. So I hope that my friend is going to enjoy this little gift. So I'm going to pop that one away now, and you will see it next time. Just making sure I'm not lifting it too high. I don't want to spoil any surprises. Okay, shall we move on to some whips? As I said, I haven't had huge amounts of time for stitching. Work's been really busy, and although I finish work at 5:30 and I'm home by 6, by the time I've walked out and we've prepared dinner and cleaned up dinner and had showers and all that stuff that you have to do, all those evening chores, sometimes, you know, not feeling like doing more than about half an hour stitching. And of course that's if Alfie's playing ball and he's not trying to get my floss and my fabric and everything else. So, but I have got a few bits and pieces done I'm going to share with you now. And the first is, let me just get my board. I have ironed these projects and try and do them. I thought I had them in order, but apparently not. So let me just get them back into order. Okay, so the first, as I just mentioned, is All Creatures Great and Small by Barbara Anna. I'm just popping this on here so I can share it with you properly. I don't have a huge amount of progress, but I have started to make my way further along. There were a few bits and pieces I hadn't done, the little piglet on top of the mama pig there, the bee, this bird carrying, I'm not sure if it's a peach or an apple, something like that. And I've worked my way across to start doing Adam and Eve and the tree and the serpent. So really enjoying this one still. As I mentioned last episode, this is a fabric I dyed myself using walnut crystals. It's a 32 count Murano, and I'm using all of the called for DMC, so they're all on here. So there's quite a lot of lovely shades in this one, and I could literally just stitch on this monogamously because there are so many little motifs and each one feels like a little mini finish. So it's a very enjoyable stitch. And just to show you the chart, if you're not familiar with it, it's this one by Barbara Anna Designs. Let's pop this one back and we'll move on to the next whip. And a kind viewer commented that they liked the way I dyed this linen. It was very much more luck than judgment. I do quite enjoy dyeing linen, but I think it's the again, it's a time factor, isn't it? And it's also having lots of different dyes to play with, and I didn't want to invest in lots of different dyes in case I made lots of different messes and didn't get good results. So I'm leaving it to the experts. There's some fabulous hand dyers out there, and I've actually got a couple of nice pieces of linen to show you in a little while. Okay, my next whip is a new start, and it's one that I'm stitching as part of my tomato stitch up sale, which I'd love you to join if you're stitching anything tomato-y. Let's just pop this one on the board. This is quite a small start, and this is the Scarlet House, and it's Try to Mark Well. Really pretty. This one came out at market, really caught my eye. Love the design. I'm stitching it all in the DMC conversion that is given on, you'd think I'd never Flosstube before, wouldn't you, the way I am today. So these are the flosses, all DMC. The chart gives you options for a Viressoir 103s and DMCs, and these are all the DMCs. And here is my little start. So I've just started with the top. This is as wide as the design is, and I've just started on the alphabet here. I'm stitching this one strand of floss over 2 linen threads on a 36 count linen, and this one is, I just had the little label, it's another one from Paula at Eva Faith, and I did literally just have the label and appear to have lost it. I think it's catkin, I think that's the colourway. It's fallen on the floor, but I can see it. It says 36 count catkin. So that's my new start as part of that tomato stitch up sale. And this one fits perfectly in this lovely little bag that was gifted to me by, I think it was Gem Stitchery. And it made me think, actually, these little project bags are really handy, and I think I might need to either buy a couple more or have a go at making a couple, because they're just the right size if you've got a small chart, not a huge amount of flosses, because it's really nice and compact. especially if you want to take it somewhere. I am still working on Jane Austen, which is my lunchtime car stitching on work days, but Jane Austen is actually in the car at the moment. I think I probably should have left the window open for her because it is a hot day, but I think she'll be okay. I've got a bit of a problem with part of the inner border not quite matching up, so she needs to come in for a little bit of surgery, but once that's done I should have some good progress to share with you next episode. Okay, moving on to another whip, and this one is a heartstring samplery again, and this is the Five Songbirds drum. Let me show you the chart. It is, yeah, Five Songbirds pin drum, and it's this one here. Really pretty colours, that's what drew me to this one. These lovely teals and sort of terracotta pinks, so pretty. And here is my progress so far. Not a huge amount of progress. I'd already stitched this strawberry and bird, and then I realised when I looked at the chart, because it's this strawberry here and this bird here. Now I've made them match the image on this image here, but on the chart they were different flosses, and it was making it all too similar to what was going on down here, so I thought I would just have a little fiddle about with it and make it match the image. Now that obviously the image only shows you one portion of the drum, so the rest of it I will need to follow the chart, but I'm sure it will work out fine in the end. Now I've got a bit of a nest going on here. These are all called for, some are DMC, quite a few weeks, and some classic colourworks here. So this is that lovely, what's this one? Tropical Paradise is that beautiful aqua. This one is Tennessee Red Clay, which again is equally beautiful. And the strawberry is actually in this weeks, which is Boysenberry, which is this one here. So yeah, bit of a nest going on here, but progress is happening. And the fabric that I'm using, I thought I had a note of that in here. It is a Fibre on a Whim 32 count affogato, and it was a fat eighth. I think I'll probably pick that up from Peakside Needleworks. So yeah, not a huge amount of progress, but I'm desperate to get to the tree and the Adam and Eve on this one, and the fabric is beautiful. That looks like it's making a real sort of vignette effect around the edges here. So really looking forward to getting a bit more progress on this one. It's just time, isn't it? If I just had the time to sit and stitch all day, it would be a very different story, but not yet. I've got one more whip to share with you, and this is my Bountiful Stitch Along with Fat Quarter Shop, and we are now on to part 4, which was released this Friday just gone, and I'm ready to start stitching on that. But I have completed, obviously, part 1 was the border, part 2 is the basket here, and part 3 is the flower and the butterflies in this corner here. Part 4 we go diagonally across to this area, and it's another combination of butterflies and a flower, and then part 5 will be another basket in this corner, and then there's a big design that goes right through the middle, which I'm about to show you now. And I'm using a 32 count Lugana in a barn board check, and I'm also using all the called for classic Colourworks flosses, and this you can see. So I'm going to go down here and do, it's the same design but they've switched all the colours around to really make a pretty variation from this one. So super pretty. Let me just show you my flosses. And they're all in this lovely little Bountiful box. And this, of course, is the Make-A-Wish charity stitch-along for 2023. And you can still join in. There's a quilt-along and a stitch-along. And both the quilt pattern and the cross-stitch chart are free. They just ask you to make a donation to Make-A-Wish. So these are the gorgeous classic Colourworks Flossies. Really beautiful summery colours. So I need to get on with that one because we are now on to that part 4. Okay, I don't think I need my little board anymore. That's all my whips. Before I move on to some other pretty things to share with you, I think this is going to be a shorter video today, but I think I'll draw the winners of last Flosstube's giveaways, which were the Hattie is from the Chicken Club by Laurie Holt, and the winner of that one is Lynn Ellis, so congratulations Lynn. The second giveaway was the Stackables for March. This is another It's So Emma pattern, and the winner of that is Glee Hansen. Congratulations Glee. And the final giveaway from last episode is the Welcome from the Simply Signs series, again from It's So Emma, and that has been won by Daniela Drexen. So congratulations to all the winners. You can contact me to let me know your postal address, and the email address is down in the description box below. And thank you for everyone that entered the giveaway. Let's put those safely over here. Now, talking of Fat Quarter Shop and It's So Emma, this month, the month of June, saw the start of the Red, White and June stitch along, which is focusing on patriotic stitching for the month of June. And Fat Quarter Shop invited me to stitch along, and I said, oh, well, I'm in the UK and that's absolutely fine, and there are such gorgeous designs that I said yes, I would love to stitch along as well. Now I have decided to stitch some of the beautiful smalls from the Summer Memories book, and I am waiting for that to arrive. I think it's due, I think I've got UPS tracking for Wednesday this week, so I'm really going to be jumping on that as soon as it arrives. But what I have got already is some flosses and bits and pieces ready to start. Now let me get ready what I have got. I've pulled out my Union Jack bag because that can be Red, White and June too, and I've pulled some fabrics that I'm going to use, and I will, while I'm telling you about this sale, I will pop an image up of the designs that I'm going to be stitching. So first of all, I did pick up this Summer Memories floss box, and it has got an image of one of the designs on the back. I'm sure you've seen these on other floss tubes and on Fat Quarter Shop. And this is the Orifloss box of flosses that Susan Ockie has curated to go with those patterns, and these are the ones that were used in the samples. So let me just show you these beautiful colours. This is not a box that you can just open up, so I'm going to have to just get them out and we'll have to pop them back in. They're all still in the plastic covering, but you can see, I need to get them all out, don't they? Beautiful red and pink there, and then we've got a coral and sort of a sky blue, a little bit of like a Caribbean blue there. And then we have two greens, a lighter and a darker. These look very similar to the ones in the Prim Stitch series, so I hope you can see those clearly. Then we have a more royal blue and a grey, nice soft sort of French grey, that one. And finally a sort of a taupey colour and a peachy tone as well. So beautiful flosses. I love stitching with Orifloss. I think it's my favourite cotton floss to stitch with. I find it doesn't tangle, and I think these are super cute on these little wooden spools as well. So those are the flosses that I've got ready for summer memories. Let me show you some of the fabrics that I've pulled. I'm not sure these will all be the right count, but seeing as they're small pillows, I don't think that'll be too much of a problem. So first is this 32 count Zweigart, I think it's called Petit Point or Swiss Dot. They call it Raw White Dots. It's a 32 count Belfast. So that's really pretty. I've then got a small piece. This was left over from a Christmas stitch that I did. And this is an icy blue. I think this is a 32, might be a 36 count. Or is it, no, it's 32 count. 32 count linen. There are some stitched on blue in that book. And while we're on the subject of blue, how's about this beautiful blue piece from Fabrics by Crafty Kate. This was the fabric of the month. I'm in that club. This was for March. It says I'm looking for it and it's right on the label. This is for March, and this is a fat quarter of a 36 count linen. So I've got some fabrics all lined up for that. The other chart that I'm going to be stitching along with is Star Spangled, and I'll pop an image here. I'm sure again you've seen this on other floss tubes, and I have got, again I'm waiting for the chart, but I do have some flosses and even some finishing things ready to go. I'll share the flosses with you first of all, and these are all from Classic Colourworks, and we have Ribbon Red. This is such a beautiful red. I don't think I've had Ribbon Red before, but that's beautiful. Straw Hat, Mermaid's Fin. This is featured in Bountiful as well. It's a beautiful rich blue. Baking Tin, which I think is one of the newer Classic Colourworks colours. A nice dark grey, not quite charcoal, but some sort of a gunmetal grey. And finally, Summer Sky. This is such a pretty blue. There's quite a lot of variegation in this. I don't know if the camera's picking it up, but a beautiful shade of blue there. And to go with that series of designs, I've picked up some finishing supplies. Or let me show you my fabric first. Now, I may have a little tiny bit of a dilemma, but we can work around it. Now, Star Spangled are finished in these beautiful white baking tins. I know Fat Quarter Shop have been doing a series of designs, seasonal designs with these baking tins. They're cute, they're quite shallow, quite light, so you can hang them as ornaments. They've done Christmas ones, Valentine's, now we've got the patriotic ones. They come in a pack of 6, like this. And to make finishing really, really easy, I got some of these little sticky board circles that are exactly the right diameter to fit inside these tins. As you see, they just fit in snugly. So finishing will be nice and simple. And on the images, you'll see that they used the red and white striped. This is the ticking, everything's fallen on the floor. This is the red striped ticking ribbon from Stitching with the Housewives. So I've got a roll or a reel of that as well. Now the fabric, I think the called for is a 25 count Lugana, and I believe this is a 25 count Lugana, but this is more of a mushroom colour. And I think they use a dark grey. Now I have got a dark grey even weave, but I think this is a 32 count. So this might make the designs too small to fit. Not too small to fit in the tins, they'll fit, but will they look a little bit lost in those tins? The designs aren't huge, so I can always stitch one up on here first. This will be my preferred colour, and if they are a bit lost, I can switch and do a couple on here. So I'm very much looking forward to starting those, and I'll be at work on Wednesday, but as soon as I get that notification that my package has arrived, I shall be excited to come home and make a start. Okay, so let me pop those all away, and if you're joining in with that Red, White and June stitch along, please let me know in the comments and let me know what you're going to be stitching. Of course, you don't have to stitch. Red, White and June would also apply perfectly to patriotic patterns geared towards us here in the UK. Obviously there's been lots of things for the recent coronation, so you can join in, stitch USA ones, stitch UK ones, whatever, just have fun with it. And if you are stitching along, please let me know. Okay, what have I got to share with you next? I think we will have a look at a couple of fabrics of the month that I have received this month. I've got 2 subscriptions at the moment. One, as I said, is with Fabrics with Crafty Kate. This one is still in the packaging, so I need to just, sorry for the crinkling, let me just get this out so I can share it with you properly. You can't see it in the plastic, can you? I always get a fat quarter of a 36 count linen, and this one for May is this beautiful mottled green. It's got some quite heavy mottling on it, so I think this would lend itself particularly well to some I'm thinking more sort of like Christmas stitching, possibly some Halloween designs, but such a gorgeous sort of forest green on that one. And of course my West Green Loft Yarns hand dyed linen subscription, and again perfection from Vykky, West Green Loft Yarns. Vykky does hand dyed yarns for knitting or crochet. She also does the now does the hand dyed linens and hand dyed floss as well. And I say this every time, but it's just like a gift to yourself. It comes so beautifully packaged. And this month, this is also 36 count. This is called Rebel, and it's a lovely steely grey. So really, really gorgeous. Vykky has got such an eye for beautiful colours. And I saw on her Instagram, she put up a little hint that July's clubs, Floss and Fabric, she put up a picture of the American flag as an inspiration, and I will get the fabric anyway because I'm in the club, and I thought, oh, there will be some pretty flosses, so I quickly dropped Vykky a message to see if I could add the floss to next month's club as well, so I'm really excited about that. I would really heartily recommend that you, if you like some really nice treats in the mail, some floss and some fabric, then do give Vykky a little look. You won't be disappointed with what you receive because it's a lovely little gift every month. Okay, talking of lovely people, I was contacted by Amy, who is Mrs. Flossy here on Flosstube, and lots of you will probably remember Amy as a staff member at the Attic in Arizona. I'm not sure if she's there anymore. I think she's doing her own things now, and she's obviously got her Flosstube channel, and she has been designing and converting charts, and she has an Etsy shop. And Amy said, asked me if I would like to choose one of her designs from her Etsy shop for myself to share with you all, and also we'll have a little giveaway so that you can choose one too. Now what I've chosen is, I've printed out the PDF. This is the AM 1918 sampler. Obviously this is a sort of a mock-up, but if you have a look on Amy's Instagram, and I'll put a link to her Flosstube down below, you'll see what a stunning design this is. Really, really pretty. And I mentioned earlier this piece of sycamore that I have left over. for my little pillow, I thought this would be perfect. I'll choose some nice red floss from Stash and get stitching on that. So thank you, Amy. I think this is such a beautiful design. It's not too big, it's not a huge sampler, so I'm not going to be overwhelmed. I will tell you how many stitches it is. It is 108 by 109, so virtually a square. Yeah, and you can obviously, if you want to choose colours, you can choose colours. You can stitch it in any colour you like. I'm going to go for red because I think it looks so pretty in the photographs on Amy's Etsy shop. So if you would like to win a PDF copy of one of Amy's charts from her Etsy shop, she's kindly said we can have one for a giveaway. Please comment down below and use the word Flossy. So it's Flossy, as in Mrs. Flossy. So use Flossy in your comment and I will draw that next episode, and then Amy will email you the PDF chart of your choice from her shop. So thanks again, Amy, and all the best with your new venture. From what I've seen so far, you have such beautiful designs. I'm sure it's going to be a great success. Okay, I was also really pleased to see over the last couple of days that Betsy Klager has returned to Flosstube. She's been away for a little while, but she's back on our screens again, and lots of news from StitchCon, sorry, not StitchCon, Stitch North, where she went on retreat, and lots of stitching that she's been up to. Of course, her beautiful cat Hamilton, and I just love her. She's looking fab. So if you haven't found Betsy yet, give her a watch. She's a hoot. And yeah, I'm just so pleased. It's nice, isn't it? It's like old friends coming back when someone's been away for a little while. Okay, I'm just going to have a quick whiz through some lovely things that have been sent to me to share and show you from Fat Quarter Shop. Now, there's quite a few of their quilt foundation paper blocks. I'll show you each of these. So these are the Courthouse Steps, and if you're an experienced or a beginner quilter, these come with all the instructions that you need inside of how to do each block, and hints on how many blocks you need to make different sizes of quilts. And they really are foolproof. You just stitch along the lines, put your fabric on and stitch along the lines. So that one's the Courthouse Steps. This one's interesting, Snail Trail. Log Cabin. I love log cabin quilts. Economy, which is, these are all published by It's So Emma, by the way. So Economy. The Sparkle Star. I think a couple of these are Laurie Holt ones. Yeah, Economy is a Laurie Holt one. And so is Sparkle Star. And these all make 4-inch blocks, these smaller ones. The Pineapple Block. And the Vintage Kite. Now this one is particularly catching my eye. This is another one from Laurie Holt. It's the Vintage Block Series 1. And that looks like it's really fun. So those are the new foundation papers. And there's also 2 larger quilt patterns here. This one is very traditional looking. This is Sparkle. Is it Sparkle? Spangled even. Spangled. Apologies. And that's by Kim Deal. Beautiful fabric choices. And this one is a 16.5-inch square quilt. All the fabric suggestions and requirements are on the back. Obviously you could do this in any colours or fabrics that you wanted. It look really nice, scrappy as well, I think. And this one, which is Flower Peddler, again by Kim Deal. Very striking. This one's a little bit smaller at 56.5 inches square. So I think they're more sort of like a lap quilt size, I would think. And again, all the fabric requirements are on the back there. And these are all published by It's So Emma. And finally, some cross-stitch charts. And these are a couple of series that we're following through the year. The Chicken Club, of course, which is number 4 of 12. And this one is, I can't read the name, is Beatrice. And that's all in DMC. The April Stackables, which has got the super cute carrot and bunny and the Easter egg and a little tulip there. I think it's a tulip. Is it a tulip or a rose? The flower looks like a tulip. I think the leaves look less tulipy, but a beautiful spring flower. And finally, this was part of Stitch Quarterly, and this is Sweet Laurel. It's a very sort of folk art sort of design, that one. Really pretty. So those have all been sent from Fat Quarter Shop, and thank you very much for sending them to us. So I think, as well as Mrs. Flossie's generous giveaway, we'll give away some of these charts. So if you would like to win Beatrice, please use the word chicken. I know we had that last time, but we've got another chicken. So chicken for Beatrice. Use the word April for the April Stackables. And let's do 4, shall we? Use the word sweet for Sweet Laurel. And if you're interested in these 2 beautiful quilt patterns by Kim Deal, use the word quilt. So that's quilt. What one did I say for this? Did I say sweet or laurel? Either sweet or laurel. I'll pop both in the generator. April and chicken. So good luck to everyone that enters. You do need to be over 18 so that I can ask you for your address. You do need to be a subscriber of my channel, please, and if you can thumbs up the video, I would be very grateful. Special thanks to one of our winners last episode that did send me a coffee towards the postage for her prize. That was very much appreciated, as is anyone that supports the channel by donating and buying me a coffee towards a postage for the prizes. I do like to keep them international, as I know that a huge amount of my viewers are overseas, so I like to keep it nice and fair to support the people that support me. So I am going to put this stuff away, go and make some spaghetti and meatballs for our dinner this evening, get that ready, and enjoy the rest of my day. And I wish you all a very enjoyable day too, and I'll see you next time. Thank you. Bye.